I remember watching my mother working in her garden when I was a young, not truly understanding any of the benefits. I remarked that I wouldn't ever have an interest in gardening before. With the rising cost of food and gas, I've realized the practicality, as well as the fun, of home gardening. But if you're concerned about the amount of work involved or the cost, don't be. There are plenty of ways to start your own home vegetable garden without spending too much. Here are the types of gardening. 1. The container garden. This is a type of gardening is made from empty plastic and steel containers. Container gardens are very easy to set up and get started. The only supplies you need are containers, gardening soil, hand rake or tiller, seeds, water, compost for heavy feeding plants like squash. The most important thing to remember when planting in containers is that the roots of the plants can only go down so far. Make sure your containers are deep and wide enough to accommodate your vegetables. For example, most of my vegetable containers are approximately 12 to 14 inches wide and 10 to 12 inches deep. Depth is especially important when growing root vegetables, such as tomatoes. Here is a list of 10 vegetables that grow really well in containers. Tomatoes, potatoes, cucumbers, carrots, peppers, green onions, eggplant, green beans, peche, squash. Here are some examples. The in-ground garden bed. If you have good soil and a little extra lot, the in-ground garden bed can be a very economical choice. An in-ground garden of 500 square feet is enough to feed a family of 4 for 8 months out of the year, with plenty left over to share with family, friends, and neighbors. Supplies needed for an in-ground garden: you'll at least need a hand tiller, seeds, and compost. You will also need a trellis and stakes to properly grow tomatoes and squash. A small fence of stones, bricks, or wood will help prevent ground runoff after especially heavy rains. With an in-ground garden, your options are limited only by your imagination. The most common vegetables and fruits grown successfully in in-ground gardens are cabbage, corn, beets, pumpkins, watermelon, squash, tomatoes, peppers, potatoes, eggplant. Here are the example. Three. The raised bed garden. This might be my next project if all goes well with the container garden vegetables. A raised bed garden gives you a little bit more room to experiment and will offer higher yields. This type of garden is also ideal for a slightly larger space, and can be a great alternative to direct-to-ground planting, especially if your soil conditions are not ideal. Supplies needed: cut cedar boards, the wood is rot-resistant, a couple of layers of newspaper, topsoil, peat moss, compost, grass clippings, seeds, water, and a hand tiller. What to grow? Anything you can grow in a container garden you can grow even better in a raised bed garden. You have more room, the soil is warmer, and the drainage is much better. Plants that grow well in raised bed gardens include asparagus, beans, broccoli, Brussels, pumpkins, spinach. Here are the example. Four. The window box garden. All you need for a successful window box garden is a window box or hanging box to hang off your deck, garden soil, seeds, and water. The best type of vegetables to grow in a window box garden are lettuce, greens, spinach, tomatoes. I hope you have earned and learned knowledge about this tips on how to create gardening at your home. Too far of our world now, we encounter a high cost of raw materials for the preparation of our food, and good oh be true, it's a bigger help. Because if you have this garden, I think it will give you a lot of savings of money. Important reminders. Don't throw your excess fruits and vegetables waste, it's because will be helps you to fertilize your gardening through of composing them. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and hit the notification bell.